Aloha guys, welcome back to another episode of Fish and Dive Hawaii, and in today's video we are actually doing a collaboration with my buddy Nick Morris from Real Adventures Hawaii and Sam Holmes from the Sam Holmes Sailing YouTube channel.
You mainly film on GoPros? Cool, and then pull it back the other way.
And this episode is really special because Sam sailed this boat, the Swedish Fish, the one that we're on, from LA to Hawaii, from California all the way to Hawaii by himself, and invited me and Nick on to do some fishing and diving. So I highly suggest you guys go watch that video. Click the link right up here. You guys may have already seen it. It's got a ton of views. Amazing video. He documents his whole journey from Los Angeles to Hilo, from Hilo to Maui, from Maui to Honolulu, and then he sailed all the way up to the North Shore to do this video with us. So he's pretty stoked to get out there on the ocean. And I just want to give a huge shout out to Nick because he lent me all of the onboard footage. This is actually the episode where my Hero 7 SD card got deleted on this boat. So yeah, Nick lent me a bunch of footage, so huge shout out to him.
You just pull it to get the sail back.
Yeah, so this is the trim, right? I let it out, the sail goes to that side, and I pull it back in, and it gets tight. And so if we're going to go an upwind course, you can't go straight in the wind, but you can kind of zigzag on either side. Yeah. So like if I go downwind and I leave it trimmed in, the boat will like heel unnecessarily, and you kind of want to ease the sail out more, like just like a downwind course.
And that's how I do a downwind.
And so now it's like you let it out, we go a little faster. See, now you can see our speed start picking up. But then if you go up the wind, now the sail starts to kind of flutter. So
yeah, pull it in because I guess the sail's gonna let too much wind out, right?
Exactly.
Oh, that's cool.
That's all there is really to it.
Fine for sailboat, you can probably cut down a little shorter if you want to. You wouldn't have to do this long.
Okay.
For me on the boat, I prefer a little bit longer because I'm trying to. It's a little bit different technique. I'm trying to get through certain bubble wash and stuff like that. Inside here is just like your regular spear, your spear rubber, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And this will tell you when you got a bite, so it'll come tight.
Yeah.
So it's like
easy
this.
To see, yeah.
It'll come tight, and it'll give you kind of a shock, almost like a drag.
Yeah.
Then I think it's a 100-pound bloodline in here.
Okay.
And that's just to clean it off. That's why. Now we're fishing.
All right. That's all there was to it.
This is cool, sailing on a boat. If you've never been sailing before, you gotta try it. It's awesome. What you should do is try to get a small pole for you on your next journey. You just get a pole set like this. Whenever you pull up to a port and anchor, and easy is just wrapping the lead around the handle and you just put it away, store it.
Okay. Yeah, cause they make poles like.
You can even get a short pole, yeah.
Yeah, I want something like it can just fit in a locker easily.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
No, but even these.
Just leave it
this is a one-piece pole, right?
Yeah.
But you can just get a pole like this long and get two-piece where it pulls off and just put it in your locker.
Nick also brought out some of his bottom fishing poles and some rigs and all that stuff. He was fully equipped for today's little mission. And if you guys haven't checked out his channel, you guys need to check it out. He does a lot of offshore fishing, a lot of shore fishing. Amazing guy. Go check him out. Go subscribe to his channel. And yeah, we're just doing some bottom fishing after we anchor it out. And right here, we catch a little fish.
We got Justin on. What? He gets a hoggy? Slow down. Let Sam get his camera. No way, what's that called? Toppy. You can eat that.
Alright. Alright, Sam's up next.
You got there in his bucket, Sam? Or where do you?
Oh yeah, do you want to dump out that bucket and put it in there?
Yeah, we can put it in there.
That's good. I think I don't know what to do with the fish once I catch it, I guess.
Just get a bucket, dump it in a bucket. Yep.
Bucket works fine. What kind of fish is this?
Toppy. So this is actually an invasive fish. So
kill all of them.
Roy, Toppy, and Twal. So this one is actually one of the nicer ones.
It tastes good fried.
All right, good fried.
So you have dinner now.
Yep. Dinner on the sailboat.
You can fry fish right on your boat, right?
I don't have anything to fry it in right now. I've got like a tiny little frying pan.
So what you do is hold this spool.
Okay.
Hold this with that hand, and then drop this, and I'll free line it, and just let it out slowly. You can let it The thing on the tip? There you go.
Yeah, let go of this finger. Oh, is it?
The thing on the tip?
Hold on.
Then just hold the spool so it doesn't backlash on your thumb. There you go. And just let go all the way till you hit the bottom. And as soon as you hit the bottom, then put this black up.
Okay. So Sam was bottom fishing for about 10-15 minutes and the lead kept getting stuck. So I wanted to see what the structure was like under the water. So I decided to jump in with some of my diving gear. I didn't have a wetsuit or a weight belt or anything, just my fins, my mask, and a spear gun. So it turns out we were actually on a pretty big rock structure. You see that big little cave area? We're kind of just floating back and forth over it, and for the most part around that was all flat reef. So seen some nice structure inside, some nice goatfish, some nice whole fish like mampachis. Decided to take another drop and see if I can land a shot at one. I'm not sure if you guys could see that big hole in this rock over here. There was some mampachi looking straight at me, some good sized ones. Try to get down to the bottom to get a shot. And this is actually, we're diving kind of deep, 40 feet without a weight belt, wetsuit. I was kind of nervous, but it was surprisingly easier than I thought it would be. Although I was trying to be cautious because I didn't have the right gear to be doing this kind of stuff. And this right here is a nice size mampachi or soldier fish. I didn't have a cuy to put it on, so I'm just putting it on my dive line. And I didn't have a dive knife to bring it, so I'm just using my spear. Gonna take another drop and try to catch another one. And right when I hit the shelf, I see this nice size munu. You guys can see that fish swimming away on the right side with the white tail. That's a munu, or a Joe Louis as we like to call it, a type of goatfish. One of my favorite fish to catch, but it was pretty skittish, so I'm going to look underneath this cave right here and see if there's some mampachi. And sure enough, there was kind of a lot of mampachi in this little hole. So it's just a matter of finding which ones to target. Right now I'm just gonna sneak right in underneath this little cave area and try to land a mampachi. So there's a shot on another mampachi. Thought I got a pretty good shot, so I don't want to swim back underneath this little cave area. I'm just gonna surface, breathe up again, and take another drop and try to secure the fish. So I actually thought I landed the fish there. I'm not sure how I missed or how it ripped off, but it did. And this right here, what I'm doing, I don't recommend you guys try this, especially if you're diving without a weight belt, shooting into caves, because this kind of stuff happens. Your shaft can get stuck inside, and then you gotta dive even further and more inside, holding your breath longer just to get your shaft out. So what I'm doing is pretty dangerous, and I don't recommend people do the same thing. So I'm pretty bummed out about that last fish. I thought for sure I secured it. I'm gonna take another drop. I seen some empachi on the right side over here, so I'm gonna try to land one, and this will probably be my last drop because it's just kind of dangerous diving without a weight belt in this kind of depth. And boom, thought I landed another solid shot. Gonna go back up for air, get back down there and try to secure this fish. And again, what I thought was a solid shot on this Mimpachi, and I thought I'd landed it. I just needed to pull it out. Sure enough, there was no fish, and my line was just stuck under this rock. Again, this is pretty dangerous, so do not try to dive kind of deep like this without a wetsuit, weight belt, that kind of stuff, and a partner watching over you. And what I thought were two solid shots were two solid misses. So I just decided that the fish wasn't worth the risk, so I headed back to the boat so we can move to another spot. And this right here is my first time spearfishing off of a sailboat. It was a little tricky getting back up, but it was a lot of fun. Yeah, it's a big hole. Huge caves. Yep.
So Justin just passed me his gun, and he caught a Mimpachi. Oh, that's a big one, dude. That's a big Mimpachi. Yeah, very sought after fish. Was there a big hole down there?
Yeah, it's a big hole.
Oh, was it full of Mimpachi?
Yep.
Oh, that's a big one.
I shot two more.
What happened?
Yeah? Where are those ones?
Every time I shot them, it's like 40 feet. And I'd shoot them and they'd go run in a cave. And then my shaft kept getting stuck, so I was like diving like 50 feet in the caves. And I was like, this is too dangerous.
Yeah.
By yourself. Yeah.
This guy's a wild man.
No backup.
I'm good.
Oh, you got one. That's a big one.
Yeah, decent size. I was hoping that other one would have stayed on.
These are predominantly like a night fish.
A night
Catch them
fish.
nighttime.
Okay.
See their big eyes?
Oh yeah, look at that.
They're predominantly night fish you catch them.
Remember this fish.
I think they get, right, Justin? They can see in the dark, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. They can see in the dark.
So even you like.
Let me hold this.
At night.
Predominantly full moon nights is when you catch these fishing.
Okay.
Let's call them Impachi.
An Impachi, a night fish. It's got big eyes. So easy with multiple people.
So right now we're gonna anchor up, and then we're gonna go try out another spot, a little bit shallower water, because Sam wants to try his hand at some spearfishing. I brought my 3-prong for him to sample, and now we're gonna move spots. Nick is gonna do a little more bottom fishing before we start sailing out, and we're gonna go diving again.
No big deal if this sail jives though.
So after about 15 minutes sailing downwind towards Haleiwa Boat Harbor, kind of making our way in, we anchor off at a spot that's about 10 to 15 feet deep. Nice little spot, a lot of flat reef, not too much structure, so we're kind of swimming around looking to see if there's any fish, but to me it's like perfect taco ground, so I'm really looking for a nice little taco hold. Try to get Sam to kind of catch his first taco here in Hawaii. Be really cool, but right now we're just searching for some structure, maybe some fish to target. And it seems like this is just all flat reef, so I'm getting a little bit disappointed because I want to get Sam to target something, you know, catch a fish or at least an octopus or something like that. But I did find this round ball on the bottom of the reef floor, stuck out like a sore thumb, and it was this solid piece of lead. And it's kind of interesting because you don't really see stuff like this every day. I'm not too sure who the person was that dropped it and what they were using it for, but it was really interesting, kind of fun to play with.
Here, come.
So after about a minute, I seen something odd on the reef, and it was actually a nice sized taco kind of hanging out, sunbathing outside of its hole. Called Sam over right away, told him get down there and try to catch it. And right about this point, I realized that I totally forgot to teach him how to actually take the taco out of the hole. So he kind of just stabbed at it, which is completely my fault for not showing him the proper way. So as we surfaced, I told him to tickle it out. So he tickled it out with his hand. I forgot to tell him to tickle it out with the tip of the spear. So again, I take full responsibility for this. I just didn't teach him the right way to do it. I would have done the same thing if I was him. But so I show him where the taco hole was again, and I told him to tickle it with the spear this time. So he goes down, tries to take it out, but yeah, he's kind of burnt out. I mean, this guy's been sailing across the ocean for like weeks, months on end, so I don't blame him. I end up going down and extracting the taco, but I'm glad he got to experience it, because anytime you catch taco like this, it's always fun. And you guys can see this is a decent sized one. And one quick tip is when you guys are tickling taco or trying to take them out of the hole, make sure there's at least 2 or 3 legs that come out. If there's just one leg and you try to stab at it, force it out, it's not going anywhere. And I apologize for the animal lovers, that might have been a little bit graphic, but that's how you brain the taco. If you guys don't have a knife or anything, you can just flip the head inside out and you can clean it out right there and then. And don't get me wrong, I'm an animal lover too, and I get a lot of animal rights activist kind of people in the comment section saying how spearfishing is so wrong, but honestly it's the most efficient way to hunt in the water. You get to pick your own shots, you get to choose what fish you're going to catch, and especially with taco, they have a relatively short lifespan, only about a couple years tops, so yeah.
It's all flat reef over here, so it's kind of rough. No structure.
So I actually had to jump back in because the anchor got stuck, which is funny because it's all flat reef over here. But make sure you guys practice conservation when you guys are going spearfishing. You've seen that we caught the nice sized taco, 2 reef fish, the Mimpachi spearfishing at the other spot, and the Teape bottom fishing. If you guys want to go watch Sam cook that up in a makeshift pan fry in his sailboat, then go click that little link right here. Go check out that video. And make sure you go check out my buddy Nick's channel too. He posts a lot of cool content. If you guys are just getting started with spearfishing, I put together a little program, little guide for you guys. Top 5 spearfishing tips for beginners. You guys can click the link in the description and download that. It's going to be really helpful for all the beginners out there who are interested in starting or learning how to spearfish here in Hawaii.
Winch me in.